So hello. This may be the most important year for all of us to tap into and make the most out of Small Business Saturday, right? With everything else that's gone on this year, this is now become the key, possibly, to saving the year for all of us. So, tonight, on this video, depending where you are, maybe day or night, but we are going to talk about what Small Business Saturday is, in case you haven't heard of it, how it can help businesses, and how to make it a success. Let's get this started. This is going to be a busy one. Okay, so this has been a year, but the good news is it's almost over. And we now have an opportunity coming up that we can really tap into that can maybe turn things around. Certainly it's going to help, and that is Small Business Saturday. So I'm going to bring up some stuff here because I've got a lot to go through and I did not want to forget anything because that would be bad. All right, so we're going to start off with the basics because, you know, that's how I like to roll here. Here we go. Right, so what is Small Business Saturday? I'm assuming by now that most people have heard about it, but you never know. So let's not make too many assumptions. The captions are going to work. Okay, so Small Business Saturday was something that started in 2010 by American Express. And the idea was, okay, you know, there's all this hype around Black Friday. And don't get me wrong, Black Friday is a big day. But they decided that they would try to continue that momentum and funnel it towards helping small businesses, local or online. And it took off. It took off much faster, I think, even than they had expected it would. And it has continued to grow and grow and grow. And this year, of course, we're all going to have to make adjustments for it, but they're already on the ball and they're there to help us. And so we're going to tap into that help because you know what? Never turn down help. Speaking of which, for those of you who don't know me, I should probably introduce myself first. My name is Kathleen Sinnott, and I'm here as your tech coach. Basically, the story is I'm here to help business owners benefit from technology. So if you need help, that's what I'm here for every week, Thursday, 8 p.m. Eastern Time. All right, let's get into this because we got a lot to cover. All right. So this year, 2020, the Small Business Saturday is going to fall on November 28th. Okay, it's always the Saturday after Black Friday. See how nicely that works together? But mark it on your calendars, folks. The clock has started and we need to start to dive in. All right, so let's talk about how Small Business Saturday can help. And I guess I am going to have to turn off the captions. I apologize. I'll try to bring them back later. So this is globally advertised by not only now American Express, but local areas, local municipalities. Like, it has become a thing. And it has gotten to the point where people almost tap into it as much, maybe even more in some cases, than Black Friday, right? Because Black Friday's got a lot of pressure and negative around it, right? First of all, it's right after, in the US, it's right after the holiday. It also brings up visions of people storming the doors and fighting in the aisles and all that, and frankly, who needs it? Whereas Small Business Saturday has a much kinder, gentler tone to it, and it has a more hopeful overtone, which is it's an opportunity for people who are going to spend money anyway on gifts to help their local businesses. And we're going to talk about, don't just because you're online, don't give up yet. Hang in here for a minute. But it's to help your local businesses survive and thrive. Now, local used to mean, Main Street, but it has expanded to be basically anybody that you are dealing with, anybody that you want to support wherever they are. So if you are online, if you do not have a storefront, right, if you're not on Main Street, if you don't have a brick and mortar, that does not mean that you are excluded from this in any way, shape, or form, okay? The only person who would be excluding you from this would be you. Don't do that. Okay, tap into this, tap into the goodwill, tap into the free marketing, tap into the activity and the interest around it, right? Because one of the good things that has come out of all this mess is this concept of, hey, let's all help each other, let's order an extra dinner in, to help the local restaurants stay open, all that type of thing is going to funnel right into this. And let's face it, people are not necessarily going to want to go into stores. Certainly not in the numbers that they used to. So they're going to be looking for alternatives. Be that alternative, right? Think about it. Think outside the box here. This is a time to get creative. It's a time to try something new. And there are resources available to help you. So, hey, win-win. Okay, so how are you going to prepare for this? There are lots of things. We're going to throw out a whole bunch of ideas because I know sometimes it's hard if it's not something you've ever done before. It's hard for some people to kind of come up with these ideas. So I'm going to throw just some idea starters out there for you to see if we can't get the ball rolling for you. First of all, register. Now, you do not have to do this, but again, this is an opportunity for you to tap into a larger market just by going and signing up. So I'm going to show you. Let me bring this back up here. What do I mean by register? Register really means you go to the American Express website, and let me bring it up this way. And by the way, the links are in the description already, so you're good to go. So they've got a whole site just focused on helping us all prepare for this, right? And they have made deals with various and sundry vendors who may be something that you've wanted to try or something that you could tap into to make things work for you. So you can tap into that. They have downloadable resources for you to go and take a look at, and I went ahead and downloaded. So they've got signs that you can print out. They've got digital badges for your website. They've got social media posts and images that you can use. So, you know, if you just look here, you know, like there's a fairly nice little selection here. So you don't even have to create these, right? They've already given them to you. And so you can go and make use of those right there. And you can have all of that. They've got, you know, targeted advertising, but the benefit of doing this part here, okay, add or update your listing, is it then puts you onto their map, right? So, and it also will help with the findability of your own stuff just by being in another location. And they have all kinds of ideas, and they're constantly updating this. This is a fabulous resource that you can keep going back to. And like I said, once you're registered, there's even a few extra marketing materials that they do make available to you. So it is worth considering. Whoops, let me switch back to the other one. Going and registering. Not a big deal. And it is something that will benefit you, but you don't have to. There is no limitation on this. If you want to participate this without registering, that's absolutely possible and fine. They're you know, the materials are still there, the free ones I just showed you, and a lot of information is there absolutely free. And even after you register, there's no cost. So that is the starting point for all of this. Go ahead and do that now. Even if you don't use it, it's just good to go through and read the materials. Like if you decide not to use their materials, that's fine, but maybe go ahead and read their content, get their ideas, all that kind of good stuff. There's also a lot of success stories there. So if you're looking for, you know, ideas maybe that, you know, will help you move your ideas along, by all means, that's where to go. So this is the other thing, right? Get the word out, okay? So, and this is something you need to start doing now. Getting the word out is something that needed to start, well, let's say yesterday, okay? So, while you don't have to register with them, you know, there is the benefit of you will show up on their map. So if somebody is going, because they have a site for consumers and they have a site for us business owners. So if a consumer goes there and is looking, hey, you know, who in my area is participating, or who's participating just in general, you just by being there, you know, you'll come up in their search engine. You know, they'll ask you what your category is, all that kind of stuff. So that's one way to do it. Another way to do it, of course, is, you know, your socials, right? You're going to get out there and you're going to push your socials. You're going to get out there with your tweets. You're going to update your website. If you don't have a website, get yourself at least a one-page website. Literally, you can have that spun up in like a couple of hours max. It's only going to take you a couple of hours if you don't already have like some about you content, some photos, that kind of stuff like that. You might have to dig up. If you've already got that stuff, you can get it done in 40 minutes, easy. Go to something like squarespace.com, not a promotion. They're not paying me. It's just one of the sites I've hooked a lot of my clients up with because it's fast, it's easy, their templates are really good, and you literally can get a website live in about 40 minutes. So do that. If you don't have a website already, do that now. Well, after you're done watching this. You know, get some store signage, start to talk about it, you know, with your customers. Maybe put it in your email blast, all that kind of stuff. Start to let people know that, hey, you're cooking up some ideas for Small Business Saturday. So go ahead, don't be shy about it. It's coming up faster than you think. And I'll show you in a minute that you're not the only one getting started with that kind of stuff, right? Even if you don't know what your plans are, just let them know that you're putting plans together. You don't have to have everything finalized yet, right? So hint at the fact that you're thinking about, sales or discounts or special events or, special items or a combination of items that you've never done before. Start to get it rolling, right? The other thing that is in the descriptions in Facebook and on YouTube is a checklist that American Express, I almost said Amazon, American Express has put together that you can use to go through it and start your preparations and start to keep track of things. Tap into the tools I've talked about before, right? I've done several things on Canva. It's a really great way to create, turns out to be a large variety of graphic type items for ads and little videos and brochures and social media and all that kind of stuff. You can do it for free, or you can pay and go ahead. Do flyers, posters, whatever. You don't have to do all the things, okay? So take a breath here. I'm throwing a lot at you because I want some ideas to stick. Don't feel like you have to do every single one of these things. Pick a couple and make them work for you. But do get it started now. That is totally important and key. Okay, let's keep going. We got a lot to do here. When you're doing this stuff, tell your story. That's the difference, that's your strength as a small business, is that you do have a story to tell. You are not a cold, faceless conglomerate, right? Tell people who you are, where you come from, why you do what you do, whether it's, whether you sell a product or services or you're a consultant or whatever it is that you are doing, that you have clients and customers and you're looking for more, tell your story. Let them know what it is. Let them get to know you as a person. Don't hide behind your company. That's what makes us different. That's what makes us stronger than the big companies, is we can be who we are. We're not having to hide behind some facade, right? Let people connect with that. Let them get curious about you and your products. Maybe you're doing something they've never heard of before. Great. Go ahead. Start to have that conversation with them. Do it on all the socials. Do it on your blog. Do it on your website. Do it in live streams. Do it wherever you possibly can to start to get this ball rolling, because the more you get it out there, the better the chance that somebody who maybe has never heard of you or somebody that has not maybe thought of you in the context of this type of an event will be there. So definitely go ahead and check that out. Ace is being helpful. Thank you, Ace. So yeah, I do have, if you go to either Facebook or YouTube, although I think Facebook is writing over my last one, but I'll re-upload it if that's happening. But I've been doing a bunch of things on Canva, and every time I touch Canva, I find something new and powerful and wonderful about it. So thank you, Ace. I appreciate that. That is very, very true. There's some really good stuff out there, and you do not have to be a graphic designer to use that. So don't get hung up on that whole thing. All right, let's keep rolling. Check around, okay? So when you go to the American Express website, you can check to see, are there already local, okay? And again, local is relative, local events going on that you can tap into. Now, take a step back and think about what local could possibly mean. Obviously, your zip code, your town, your state, okay? That's the obvious one. What people don't think about is local is also on the front line, right? We have communities online. We have a place online. So also look for those kinds of things because they do exist. Also keep an eye on like your local chamber of commerce, anything, in your industry, any industry leaders, that type of thing. Again, online or offline or a hybrid of both, you can tap into what it is that's already going on. You can tap into that momentum. You can get your name added to their list. It's not going to cost you anything. The whole idea behind this is everybody helping everybody out. So that's our customers helping us helping other businesses and our customers. It's a big love fest. Make the most of it. Tap into it. Promote, okay? Promote. Okay? Inform. Let people know that you're out there doing this. Share with your other businesses, with your existing client base, right? Get the word out there. Let everybody know. Tell your friends, your family, your neighbor, everybody. Let them know. Connect with people. Let them know that you're out there, you're going to be doing this, and let them give you feedback, right? Especially when you're in this planning phase, right? If you take the next week and you start to reach out, you start to talk to people about it, if you start to have a conversation with your customer base, with your employees, if you're lucky enough to have them, lucky you, have the conversation, get feedback from them. What would you like to see? What would you think would be helpful? What do you think we should try? They will help, right? And people who are happy with the products or services that you're offering, become invested in you, and they want to see you do well. And if you reach out to them and ask for opinions, you don't have to do everything, but they will feel good about the fact that you're asking, and they will try to help. Don't guess, ask. Do polls, right? Put a poll on your website, do a poll on Twitter, wherever it is, on Facebook. You can go ahead and throw a poll up there. It's an awesome way to collect information from people who maybe are thinking, gee, I wonder why they don't do this, but they'll never come up to you and say it. But if you invite that information, they're like, oh, great, because I've been thinking you should do this. It's worth checking out. The important thing is to start now. You're in the right window. This is the time to do it. And the faster you get on board with this, the better. But again, don't get overwhelmed. That's not the point here. The point is, this is the moment. Start to plan a couple of things out. Pick 2 things. Pick 3 things. If you're already doing social on one platform, maybe try another. If you don't have that one-page website, go do that one-page website. Pick a couple of things and try them. Focus on those for a couple of days. Then take a breath and feel like, is that enough or not enough? And then you can go and you can try something else and you can add to it and you can reach out. This is an evolving kind of situation, but the wonderful thing about being online is that you can have an idea and go try it, right? If I had an idea right now, I could type up a tweet, right? I could fire up my webcam and do a live stream and tell you about it. I can go into Canva and really quick throw together, a static ad and put it up on Instagram. That immediacy, like you're not having to plan out anymore, a year and a half in advance so that you can get the materials together, hire the graphic designer, send stuff to the printer, review it. It's not right, then you got to send it back. All of that's gone away, right? And you can be immediate. You can be now. And it helps to have a little plan so you know where you're going. And then you can maybe schedule some things out so you don't feel like this is 24/7. It should not be 24/7. Tap into tools. Canva has built-in scheduling now. You can go to something like Hootsuite to do it. There's a whole bunch of tools, and we've talked about them. Later is another one I've shown you. You can go check the other videos. Lots of good stuff in there. Getting some good conversations going here. Yep. So Susan says, it's not too soon. Let them know. Post it everywhere and then keep reminding them. Absolutely. That's key, right? You got to get the ball rolling and then you got to keep reminding them and get it all out there, right? And this, to me, like getting their input, you don't have to guess, right? You have people, okay? Whether it's your friends, your family, your neighbors, whether it's friends you have online, it's your customers, it's employees, it's contractors you worked with, ask them the question. Let them help you. They want to help. Let them help you. So just for a little context here, I'm going to just show you because you're like, what's he talking about, right? Or it's too early or whatever else. Okay, so I'm going to tell you that it's not too early and it's not just small businesses. So this is a catalog I literally got today. So it's going to be a little hard to see. I was hoping to get time to take a picture of it. But if you see here, okay, you see what it says there? Is it too soon to shop for the holidays? And I know the text is small, but the short version of their answer is hell no. So I'm going to actually read it to you because I thought that this kind of sums up what we're talking about here, right? So is it too soon to shop for the holidays? Normally, maybe a little. But there's nothing normal about this year. Not at all. So we're advising our family and friends to order early. The carriers who bring packages to your door are telling us delays are likely as the holiday approaches. We're keeping our warehouse team distant and safe. And you do want to get those messages out to people because they will worry. That's me editorializing here. We want you to have the gifts you need in time and worry-free. We'll always go that extra mile for you. And there are many unknowns. So make a list, check it twice, and order as soon as you can. Wishing you a happy and healthy holiday season. Sincerely, the staff at Signal. So, right? Okay, so this is, and this clearly they went in and they changed their catalog a little bit. But the other thing that I noticed at the top here, hopefully you can see it. Thank you for your support. This is what I'm talking about messaging. This is what I'm trying to get through to you right now, is there's lots of ways to do this. You don't have to feel like it's a hard sell as you're doing this. Little messages like this. Like I have never, ever, in all the catalogs I've ever gotten from these people, I have never seen a message like that. It stuck out to me. It's brilliant. Same thing with this. Like, is it too early? Heck no. Okay? Just from the experiences we've had this year, right? We have had trouble. I had trouble like getting my usual orders just, for my daily life type of thing. So that's why it's really important to start now, like today, to start to get the message out there because it's not too early at all. And the more you get that message out there, the more you let people know that you got stuff for them, the more you're going to present different options to them that maybe they've never seen before, the more likely it is that they're going to say, I'm going to check this out. And that's where we're heading with all this. Okay, hi, Chair. Good to see you. Lost my stylus. Can't do this without my stylus. So yeah, so Susan's like, right? 'Tis the season to prepare for the holiday shoppers. Absolutely. And it's definitely not too early. Okay, hang on one sec. It's also still allergy season. Okay, let's keep going. So, get online, right? So that you know that this is an overarching theme on my show because I'm trying to get technology to help people, right? So, get that one-page website. If you're on one social, make it two for the holiday season. Try something different. If you don't have that one-page website, get it up there. If you've never done live video, give it a try. If you've never done recorded, maybe give that a try. You know, just go to Facebook, hit that camera button and talk to your customers for a couple of minutes. It doesn't have to be elaborate. It doesn't have to be, you know, you don't need the Rockettes in the background and an 18-piece orchestra. You talking to them about your passion, about what you do for them, what you make available to them, is definitely the way to start to make that kind of connection and let them know that this kind of stuff is available to you. And I'm having an idea here. It's probably really stupid that I'm going to do this, but I'm going to do this anyway. So, as you may or may not know, I do remote production. If you are at all curious about doing live and you are intimidated by it, don't think you can do it alone, don't have the equipment and all that kind of stuff, I will, for anybody who contacts me. What are we on? We're on the 18th. So anybody who contacts me between October 8th, which is today, and October 18th, I'll give you 10 days. If you go to yourtechcoach.net/appointments, make an appointment. If we end up working together, I will do live production for you of a half-hour show to one platform. Usually that costs $299, but I will do it for $45. This is not going ever happen again, okay? This is totally on the fly, but I want people to make the most of this time. So if you've ever been curious about doing a live for your business and you've just not been able to pull it together, you're curious, whatever, we'll give this a try. So go ahead. Go make an appointment and we'll talk. If we can pull it off together with scheduling and that type of thing, then for this one time period, right? For the next, you know, whatever weeks between here and Small Business Saturday, I will do one show a week with you for that amount, okay? I can hear Ace going, what are you doing? I'm trying to help. That's what I'm trying to do. I want people to do this. I want people to tap in. I want people to make use of all of the things. Okay, so we talked about increasing your social media postings. Don't do it, you know, don't freak out over it, but get it together, make use of the free things that companies like American Express are making available to you. Also, again, check with your local Chamber of Commerce or whatever, check with whatever industry you're in. They're probably making these kinds of things to get available to you. Reach out to people like Jer Henning, who is an amazing artist who turns work around very quickly. Don't put it all on you if you don't want to. Go make use of Canva. They have fantastic templates. Again, not supported, just I love them. And then get it together and then schedule it. And keep in mind, and this is something people don't realize, you can reuse your social media postings. It's okay to post something that you've done more than once because the odds are not everybody in the world saw it the first time you posted it. That's just the way the world works. So if you create, you know, a dozen things and you post each one of those 5 times between here and there, that's a lot of postings that you've taken care of. And like I said, you can use a tool like the one built in Canva, like Hootsuite, like Later, to schedule it so that you do it one Saturday afternoon and it's taken care of and you don't have to think about it again. You can always add to it. It's totally fine on the fly if you get a thought, but at least it's there and it's done. The other thing that I forgot to mention as far as getting online is, okay, website, at least one page. Yay for Jer, he got his up there. This is also a great time. If you've never tried e-commerce, pick a couple of things and do it. Now understand, this does not always have to be physical products, right? Doesn't be that maybe you're selling mice or pens or whatever it is that you're selling. If it is, great, that's easy, right? That's a concept people get. You can also e-commerce services, right? So, or online materials. So as an example, let me show you something that I recently found. So most people know, like, so if you are a crafter, you're probably familiar with things like, eBay and Ravelry and that type of thing. And those are great. Like, if you can tap into that and make it work for you, go. It's a wonderful thing. But there are other options that you may not have found or may not have heard of yet. If you do a little searching, you'll find them. Let me see if I can get this to come up. I did not actually prepare for this. So I recently just heard about this site called the Creative Market. So if you are a photographer, right, and you have photos that you want to sell, you can do it here. And there's other places. I'm just saying, you can think out of the box here. You do a little searching and find all kinds of stuff. Graphic designers, icons, objects, illustrations, selling just the image or selling it actually as something that can be edited in Photoshop, Illustrator, Vector. Unfortunately, they don't have Affinity listed, but if you're an Affinity user, like certain people I know, they work with the Adobe files. If you build templates, right? If you build layouts, you can go to a place like this and sell them. And this is the kind of thing, so maybe for the holiday, you do this and you, instead of building your own e-commerce site, you put it on the Creative Market and you put together holiday bundles or that type of thing. If you are into coding, my fellow website coders out there, you can do that kind of stuff here. If you are a font designer, like there's all kinds of options. 3D, right? 3D printing, huge. They've got all kinds of, I'm guessing these are the things that you could download to print. So the point being here, you can, even if you think what you do doesn't work online, I promise you there's a way to do it. There's absolutely 100% a way to do it. So if you need ideas, reach out, let me know. Okay, let's keep going here. So when you're posting, make sure you're making use of the hashtags that work for you, your business, your industry, right, your customers, but also, again, tap into the Small Business Saturday thing, again, because this is a machine that is already at work. So make sure you get on there and you ride that wave too. So shop small business, shop local, blah, blah, blah. But don't forget the one at the bottom here. So I just happened to pick the UK one, but there will be a version of it for your locale. So make sure you get that in there too. Now, I'm going to just toss another idea at you here. When we're talking about local, remember that there are different shades of local, right? So maybe I wanted to buy a present for a friend of mine, right, who lives in Ohio, right? Okay, so I'm not local to Ohio, but my friend is. So maybe I would do a search for small businesses in Ohio who maybe would have something that that person would be interested in. So remember that local is not just where you are and where your customers are in your zip code. They really could be anywhere, because it could be that somebody wants to get a gift to somebody, they want to do something different and special, and you could have that answer because you're in that locale. And again, we're not just talking about physical location, but in this case it does apply, right? So yeah, this is definitely another way to look at it. Think about different things that you could put together and all that kind of stuff, but make sure that whatever you're doing, however you're promoting, whatever you're putting out there, that you are making use of those hashtags so that you're tapping into what people are already looking at. Make use of it all, right? Okay, let's see, what else? Oh, some more ideas I have. I'm scattering these throughout because I end up with a long list of ideas. So all the things we talked about, think about how gift shopping is going to be different this year, right? So, consumers are going to be looking for online options, absolutely. Highlight those in all of the places. Let them know that you are flexible, that you are willing to do different things. Think about things like, curbside pickup, right? So maybe if you do have a physical location, somebody wants it, but they are not comfortable coming into the store, say, hey, no problem. You text us when you get here, and we will go and we will bring it to you at the curb, right? Easy peasy. Maybe offer to them the ability to do shopping in-house from wherever they are in the world by phone, right? So you can use a tool like Calendary, or the one I'm using, which I'm now forgetting the name of, but you'll notice it when you go and make the appointment with me. There are tools that are free or very, very reasonable, but go free. And you can set it up so that you don't have to play the appointment game, right? You can send people to a link and say, hey, if you want, to do personal shopping, we'll set up a video call and we'll talk, and you'll tell me what you're looking for, and I'll show you some options, and I'll walk you around the store on my phone, and we can do the whole transaction that way. Then I can either ship it to you or you can do curbside pickup. Again, It's got to be different this year. You got to think different, but this could be something that could really help you stand out and make it feel like it's more than just you selling to your customers. It's you helping them get the things that they want in a way that feels safe to them and convenient. So this is what I mean by thinking outside the box, right? It's a good thing. Okay, so yeah, and then so there's also, you know, like doing orders by phone, doing orders by email. Don't limit yourself to whatever you've done before. It's time to try something new and different. Okay. So yeah, I kind of already got into the automate. I kick ahead sometimes. Okay, so let's see what else. Okay, so we'll continue down this theme of different ideas, right? So Susan's a friend of Calendly. Ace, can you remember what the heck the name of the one I'm using is? I can't remember off the top of my head right now. Calendly makes you happy. It auto-generates a Zoom link. Oh, that's nice too. That's really handy. The one I use auto-generates links if I tell it to, but I usually don't because I'm going to use usually vMix. Because, you know, vMix is awesome. But anyway, that's a whole other conversation. That's a completely different other guy. And see, now I want to see what it is. What is the name of, I can't believe I'm completely blanking on this. Acuity, that's it. I knew I would come up with it. The point being that there's a lot of them out there, but it's a good way to get around that whole, well, what day's good for you? I can do these times. Oh, wait, somebody's, you know, blocked that time, blah, 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 blah. So just, they go in, what you do is you connect your calendar to it. So they only see that you connect your calendar and you can specify what times you want to do these things, what days and times. They just go and pick one. Yes, that's the one. So Susan, yes, this is, I think this is the theme for this holiday season. 2020, the time for something new and different. Find new ways to help your customers, and that way you're helping you. Okay, so we talked about curbside pickup. We talked about online shopping in the different forms, which include walking around your store, right? Or if your items are in your house, right? You set them up and say, okay, you know, find out what they're looking for. You can show them the products from all angles. You can have the conversation. You could do the whole deal right there and then, which is all kinds of awesome. Also consider, if you've never done it before, gift cards, right? Gifts on the way, right? Announcements, gift baskets and boxes, even if you've never done it. And again, yes, I mean, this all sounds at first glance like, you know what I mean. It all sounds at first like it's only for people who are selling physical products, but it's not. You could put together, you know, if you are a salesperson, right? Let's say you know, you're a landscaper, or you're cleaning houses. Somebody give me some other ideas. I always go to those two for some reason. One I have, one I want. That's probably why. But whatever it is that you're doing, maybe you're a graphic designer, right? And you're willing to, you know, build graphic elements for people's websites or their live streams or whatever. That does not feel like a physical product, but it's still something that you could bundle, right? You could do gift cards so that somebody could maybe, you know, give somebody the opportunity to get those services, you know, from you, you know, for a friend or family member. You could put together, you know, little bundles of, you know, normally it's this, and this, but I'll put these 2 or 3 things together. We'll call it a bundle, and, you know, you can put it out there that way. You could think about cool ways that the person could give that gift. And it doesn't have to be, again, a physical item. I mean, if you want to, that's great. But it could just be that maybe you go into Canva and you create a certificate, right? And on the certificate, you could maybe, in a calligraphy font or in calligraphy, if you're that artistic, write it down and let them download that so that they could, you know, put it in a box or in a gift card or whatever for somebody. So again, it's about trying from different angles, different points of view, and making it so that it's still something that's fun and enjoyable, because giving gifts is supposed to be fun. So that's another way to go. Another thing to consider, again, yes, for physical products, but doesn't have to be limited to that, is look for ways to personalize things. Again, it depends on what your business is, but there's probably a way that maybe you could customize it for their area of interest, or, you know, put their name on it, or whatever it is. But again, just, you know, make it very specific to the types of things that you're offering, but maybe just in a little bit slightly different light. It's a great chance to be creative. This is key. This is time, especially in the next week, 10 days, get people on your mailing list and get your mailing list going. If you don't have a mailing list, start today. Again, you can go and you can start it for free in a lot of places. If you go look around, like I'm using MailChimp, I think they still do free. But if you do an online search, I promise you will find some. Use your socials, get people to sign up, because then you can keep them informed of all these deals. And that's a great way to actually build your mailing list this time of year, to say, hey, we're going to do Small Business Saturday. We're going to do some special deals. We don't even know what they all are yet, but if you sign up for our mailing list, you'll be among the first to know. It's going to be really helpful as you go through the rest of this period. Make sure that you're going to make your new customers or potential customers feel welcome, right? So introduce yourself. Introduce your employees if you have them. Introduce what it is that you do. Do this on your blog and your email and your Facebook. Rerun successful ads that you've run before. Don't assume that everybody knows who you are and what you do. Make sure that you take the time to introduce yourself and make them feel like they're welcome to ask questions, or if they want to find out if you can do something special for them. Just keep putting that message out there. Tell them that there's no problem reaching out. There's no problem answering questions. You're there to tell them whatever it is they need to know. Make it a conversation. But don't forget your existing customers, right? I know you wouldn't do that anyway, but sometimes it helps to have that little reminder, right? This is the time to reconnect with customers that maybe you haven't talked to in a while. And certainly, keep engaging with your active customers. So maybe go through your, list of, sales from the past couple of years. Look for people that maybe you haven't heard from in a while. Reconnect with them. Do a special targeted campaign to them, whether it's email or, snail mail. Hey, snail mail gets attention these days. So yeah, go ahead and do all the different things. Thank you, Tom. I should do that. But make sure that you are having the conversation too with your existing customer base and letting them know about this cool new thing that you're going to try for Small Business Saturday. Even if you don't know what it is yet, hey, make sure you stay in touch with us. Make sure you keep an eye on our website. Make sure we've got your update email address, because we're going to let everybody know what's coming. Don't make it just about discounts, right? You don't want to give away the store, right? You don't want to end up having the holidays cost you money. That's not the goal here. So help them, with their get it done list, right? Help them take care of the holidays ahead of time. Help them take care of the holidays in a stress-free way. Believe me, stress-free is going to be very big. Give them alternatives you've never offered before, right? Maybe, offer layaway, last minute kind of pickups, last minute online solutions that can just be emailed or printed off at home. The personalization things we talked about. If there's stuff that you usually ship out that requires some assembly or putting together or baking, whatever, maybe also offer some that are already put together. The curbside pickup, the things we talked about, the video shopping, where you walk them around your items. Look for, yes, obviously discounts do get attention, but special bundling, special ideas, special attention will also get you the traffic that you're looking for. That said, it's okay to run one-day deals, right? It's totally fine to say, you know what, we're going to have a special deal, whether it's Small Business Saturday or some day after that. Make sure that, you toss some of those in. It doesn't have to be every day. It could be. If you have that kind of energy, go for it. But do some limited time things. Do some, act now. Do some, hey, do this now and your shopping is done kind of thing. Yes, absolutely, Susan. Good point. Maybe include shipping in things, right? That's a nice way to kind of take some of the pain out of some of the online stuff, because that is a pain point for a lot of people, especially because, at least here in the U.S., I don't know if it's happened or if it's happening in next week, but the Postal Service charges are going up short term, hopefully, for the holidays. So, if you're like, hey, look, I know, I appreciate your business. I know the prices have gone up on shipping. Don't worry about it. We got you covered on the shipping. Those are absolutely, it's a great idea, Susan. That's the kind of thing that will definitely either help people make the purchase or maybe get them to throw that extra thing into their cart or their purchase. Another fun thing to consider, which I did do a whole nother show on, you can go back and do a search for that, is maybe run a little contest. Don't stress, these are just ideas, but you could do a little giveaway. And I covered in the other show, like some different ways to do it that are much lower stress. But it's a good way to get attention. It's a good thing for your socials and your email blasts. It gets people talking, it gets their attention. Leave yourself a window, but don't make it too big. Long enough so that you can get the message out to them a couple times, because people tend not to react to things the first time they see it. So you want to be able to get the message out there a few times, but you do want to have an end date on it, and you want to push, this day we're making the drawing. This day, if you want in on this, you better have it in by this time. Do all that kind of stuff. That's a good point, right? So, Tom, use a couple of ways to do your kind of deals. If you're going to do the 1 day thing, you can forecast it, right? Say, hey, on this date, we're going to run a whatever deal on this particular good or service. Keep an eye on your emails, and I'm going to give you the special code, or keep an eye on the socials. I'm going to give you the special code to use. It's only good for that day. So that's a great way to, again, keep that attention, right? Get that people sharing your stuff, get them paying attention to what it is you're putting out there, while also coming back and maybe doing a purchase. I love this. We're firing the ideas on all cylinders. You will be able to watch the replay. Don't freak out if you haven't gotten all of them written down. Susan says, I don't like to discount. When she set the expectation, people will wait for the next one. Right, and some people don't have that big a margin to be able to do that, and that's why it's good to have alternatives like the free shipping or special bundling or personalization or whatever. There's other ways to make things feel like you're getting extra value and actually giving extra value without it necessarily hitting the price. So it all depends on what it is you're doing, who your audience is, all that kind of good stuff. And what your industry does, right? Maybe your industry doesn't do that kind of thing. Maybe they do. So excellent points. Love this conversation. So think about a contest. It's another way to generate interest, to engage with people, to maybe get people who had never heard of you before to pay a little extra attention because, hey, the idea of winning something free, people definitely pay attention to that. Partnering up is big, okay? And that's another reason, again, to go back to the Amex website for Small Business Saturday, also to look at your local Chamber of Commerce, your industry resources for whatever it is that you're a part of, because they will offer opportunities for you to partner up with them, maybe to partner up with people in parallel businesses. Again, don't shut your brain down on any of these things. Look for these ways to combine, right? So, there's some obvious ones, right? So if you have wine, if you sell wine, maybe you partner up with somebody who sells cheese, right? Not that I'm hungry or anything, but that's the first thing that popped into my head. But there's all kinds of ways to do these kinds of things. And think about, just interesting ways to combine. And it doesn't even have to be a direct relationship like that. It could just be like, hey, if you're buying, gifts for the kids, here's something else, for the parents of those kids. There's lots of ways to do this. Keep an eye out. If you're not seeing anything, then maybe think of ways that you can reach out to other businesses and partner up, right? Be the change you want to see, that kind of thing. What's Tom saying? I would like to troll your channel, but I can't think of a good troll. Can you help me? We'll save trolling for a different show. How about that? I'm sure Ace can help you. He's really good at that. He's seen them all. All right. And again, like I said before, and I will always keep coming back to it, don't be afraid to go live. Even if you've never done it before, whatever your hangups are about the way you sound, the way you talk, the way you look, nobody cares. Nobody cares. If you're talking to them and helping them achieve a goal, solve a problem, they're going to be okay with it. And as we've already talked about, I can help. So don't be shy. Reach out. Save it for the Twitch channel. Yeah, there you go. That's a good place for that. Okay. So, wow, I actually made it through all of that, and it didn't take an hour. So, yes, if you need help, feel free to reach out. If you have questions, if you want to talk more about this, you can go to the website. There's a contact form there. As I mentioned, I'm doing a deal. You're going to have to go back in the video to go and see what the deal is. But if you are curious about doing live video for between here and Small Business Saturday, I've offered a ridiculous deal. So you can go ahead and do that. And you know what? I'm going to do one more. So if you are stuck, if you're like, no, I'm sorry, you're just wrong, there's nothing that I can do for Small Business Saturday, then you know what? Make the appointment. And for the same, well, you know what? We'll do that for, let me see. I'm picking a random number here. Okay, so for $35, we can get together, have a 45-minute conversation where between you and I, we will hash out some ideas to make Small Business Saturday work for your business. Because I guarantee there is some way for everybody who has something to sell, who has a business, to make Small Business Saturday work for them. So there you go. That's it. I'm running out of these. I'm not, I'm getting carried away here. Clearly, I shouldn't stream when I'm hungry. But there you go. I've gone ahead and done that. So that's what it will be. And that also, so that'll be for today, which is October 8th. That'll be good until the 18th. Okay? All right. Let's see what else we got going on here. Going live gives the client opportunity to interact with you. And that's exactly it. Thank you, Tom. You would think I paid Tom to say that, but I didn't. That is the point of it, and that's why it's so important to not let, and believe me, I am queen of the personal hangups, okay? The fact that I am doing this, if you had said this to me 3 years ago, I would have laughed in your face. But the reality is, my hangups are my issue, not your problem. What is important is talking to your customers, giving them the opportunity to talk to you. And this is a great way. As you can see, like, we get conversations going. We get ideas tossed around. And there's no way that this would have happened if I didn't get over myself and get on camera. So, and it doesn't have to cost you anything. If you're willing to do it on your own, you can go to Facebook and take your phone and hit the camera and start talking. Just make sure you're doing it on your business page. They get upset if you do it on your personal profile. But that is definitely the way to go. And get yourself out there and spread the word and let people know that you're there. Let them know that you're a human. Tell them about you, right? What I said earlier on, tell your story. That is so important. Let them know, let them connect with you, let them understand you, and let them ask you questions. Let them toss ideas at you. Let them ask if you do X, Y, Z. The worst comes to worst, you say no, right? But have the conversation at least. You know, some crackers. I love saltines. Yeah, actually, oh my goodness, look. See, this is what I'm talking about, right? So Susan has the saltines. Tom has the peanut butter. That is one of my favorite combinations on the planet. I love that. And yes, I'm hungry and Murphy's hungry too. So, plus I'm losing my voice again. So yes, get over yourself, get on camera. That's, you know, I know it's hard. Believe you, I know it's hard seeing me do this, right? But you have, there is nobody out there that was any more afraid of doing this than I was. I guarantee it. I know it's hard to believe now that I'm here, but this is truly and if I can do it, you absolutely can kind of thing. That's why I'm offering to help you, because I remember being that person. I remember being, hell no. And that was a huge mistake on my part. And I'm so glad I had people help me get over that. That was totally important to life. So the other thing that I will leave you with as we close out on this is possibly the most important. Have fun, don't stop. Okay? These are critical to getting from here to Small Business Saturday and even beyond, right? So don't be afraid to have some fun. Don't be afraid to let your personality come through. Don't be afraid to be you. Don't be afraid to try things. I don't care. If it feels like a goofy, silly idea, perfect. Go do that. Because that is definitely the kind of thing that humans, people will connect with. And frankly, it's what we all need right now, right? We need a little creative view of life, right? We need something a little offbeat, a little different, because that is the only thing that's going to get us through this at this point. So don't be afraid to have fun. Don't be afraid to try things. You know what? Worst comes to worst, it doesn't work. It's not the end of the world, honest. So go ahead, try it. And then, but the other thing is don't stop, don't give up. You know, take a little break when you need to. Absolutely. This is not a 24/7 kind of thing, but get the ball rolling and then keep going, so that, because it does take a little time, it does take a little momentum. But the nice thing is you have the window. If you start now, you have the window. Even as it gets closer, you still have time, because hey, it's social and you can get caught up really quick. All right? And Tom agrees with the get over yourself comment. Absolutely. That was the hardest thing for me. I won't kid you. I mean, that was the only reason I wasn't doing this, was because I was hung up, and it was my problem, nobody else's. So see, Tom is gold. I love when Tom comes to visit. Okay, keep track of your attempts to reach people and use the ones that work, and keep a track of them for future events and seasons and campaigns that you're going to want to do. That absolutely is critical, and I'm embarrassed I did not include that in my list. Thank you, Tom. Absolutely. As you're doing these things, write it down. Okay, so here again, not a promotion. They don't pay me. Just a favorite thing. Okay, get your little Rocketbook notebook or piece of paper, or open up, you know, Notepad or OneNote or Google Docs, and every time you do something, write it down. And then after, you know, you've let it run for a little bit, go back. Did you get response? Did you not? And make a note of it in there so that you remember for next time. Because trust me, trying to remember stuff in your head doesn't work. You do need to write it down. Excellent, excellent. Thank you so much, Tom. All right, well, on that awesome extra bonus thought, I am going to say thank you for coming and hanging out. I am here every Thursday at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. Feel free to come and hang out. If you have a question, a comment, if you have an idea for a show, if you're curious about something, feel free to reach out. You're at techcoach.net. There's a contact form there. The only thing I ask is that if you have a question that needs a fast answer, let me know that, and let me know how to get back in touch with you. Give me an email or something. Otherwise, I'll assume that you're giving me content for a show, which frankly is where all my best shows come from. So Susan is on board with taking notes. That is key, right? And then next year, you'll already know a bunch of things that really worked, and you can start with those and then try something new on top of those. So that is absolutely key. Yes, Tom and I are simpatico on the whole Google Docs things. I love that. So Tom, I don't know if you're one of us yet, but okay. So the reason I like Rocketbook, so this is not the one you put in the microwave. This is the one that you can clean off with water. But it's got the little and QR codes. Hey, that's another thing. Like QR codes are a great way to have fun. And I did a show on that too. So with this, you can set up different locations. You've got a QR code you can't really see, but at the bottom there's a legend and you can mark it off. So you could write things, because sometimes I still want to write with a pen, but then you can take a picture of it with your phone, put it into the app, and you can save it to your Google Docs drive. Win, 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 win. It's like a whiteboard. It's like saving trees, and yet those times when I still need to write things down and I still want to have it available everywhere, Rocketbooks for the win. And actually, don't tell people, but I think I'm going to be giving a few of these away to family and friends for the holidays, because they've come out with a bunch of new ones which are really awesome. Yes. Susan says, love that I can hit up Google Docs on my phone, right? Google Docs work for me everywhere. Like, it's just all kinds of awesome. And yes, Susan is one of the Rocketbook faithful. Okay, so I did a show on this, Tom, but we will talk about this real quick. How do you scan a QR code if you use desktop? Well, one is take your phone, put it up, and take a picture of it using whatever camera app you have. At this point, the newer phones automatically will read a QR code and give you the link. If you don't have one handy, if you do print screen, then you will get a picture of your screen, and then you can either print it out to do that later, or you can actually go to different sites and just, it'll just read that part and read it to you. So go check out the show. I did a whole thing about that, but it totally works. He was asking about how to scan them, Ace. But yes, you can, that's another thing that Canva does. You can create QR codes in them, and there's websites that can do it and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, it's seriously awesome. Save the trees, Rocketbook. Yep. So that's what I have for you. Okay, we almost did make it to an hour, but that's just because we had really good conversation. So thank you all so much. I do appreciate it. Yes, I do have a mailing list. So if you would like to join the mailing list, please feel free. I do not sell through my mailing list. I don't have like ads or anything like that. It's just there for you to get information. So it is there if you need it. Never thought of the phone. See, that's what we're here to do, Tom. See, and I feel better now because you gave us all this great information tonight, and now you got something back. That's what I love about all of this. That's why I think everybody should be doing live, because it really, really does work. So if you're a Discord person, that's actually a way to log into Discord when you're on a system that maybe you don't use very often. Instead of having to remember your ID and password, you can just go to it, and then you can QR code scan from your phone if you have the app on there, and it logs you in. That's why I like QR codes. Ace hears me go on about them all the time. They're really cool. There's a lot of cool stuff you can do with them. So one thing I will say, because I've seen some people doing this, and I know they didn't intend it this way, but if you're going to use QR codes as part of your gamification of the holidays, that kind of works there. By all means do. There's a lot of ways you can have fun with them and also use them for marketing and informational purposes. But always make sure that there's some context around it. I've seen some people trying to generate interest by just putting QR codes out there in the universe. And that's a little dangerous because then people don't know if it's a safe thing or not. So do give them a little context. Let them, put your logo on it, give them a little context about what the code's going to be for, so that when they use it and they get to the destination, they know they're in the right place. So there you go. Thank you, Susan. I'm glad. I knew this was going to be a long one because there's a whole lot going on, but I wanted to get it out there. And I want to remind you, the links for the checklist from American Express. Again, not sponsored. This is just, they put this out there and I'm just sharing it because they just share it. And for their Small Business Saturday site are in the description on Facebook and YouTube. So go ahead and use that. You are absolutely welcome to do that, Tom. Usually after the show, I go on Twitch for a while. I'm not going to do that because I'm losing my voice, but I will be on Twitch tomorrow. So if you want to come hang out there, that's fine. All right, everybody. Thank you so much. It's been a lot of fun. And I hope that a couple of these ideas worked for you. If not, go back and watch this again, because I promise you there are ideas in there that will work for you. Thank you so much. I will see you next Thursday. Have a good weekend. Bye.